Thank you for choosing to stay at our hotel. We look forward to your next visit. I waved goodbye to our guest at the front entrance. I returned a friendly wave to a little kid waving back. My name is Anne, 30 years old. I work at this family-owned resort hotel. My parents run this hotel. It's located in a famous beach resort area in the US. Thankfully, our hotel is well known as a luxury one in this area, and many people choose to stay with us. My husband is Jimmy, 33 years old. He used to work in a travel agency, and we got to know each other when our hotel was included in his agency's tour. We dated for 2 years before getting married. After our wedding, he quit his job and now works as a deputy manager of our family's hotel. Both of my parents are alive and well. My mom runs the hotel as the manager, and my dad is the president who handles the business side of things. Jimmy's parents are also well. His dad retired 3 years ago and sometimes goes to the office as an advisor. His mom just turned 60 this year and has always been a housewife. She's very active and has many friends and enjoys her time at the neighborhood association and trips. However, according to Jimmy, his mom has a habit of overspending and would buy anything she wanted without restraint, often causing his dad to get angry at her. For a while after we got married, the hotel was doing well and stable. However, like everyone else, our hotel was affected when the global virus hit. But thanks to an idea from Jimmy, we organized a very affordable day trip tour with meals included, limited to residents in the country. It was well received by many locals and we were able to stay afloat. Recently, we're starting to see some calm and we're relieved to have guests visiting from outside the country as well. But despite this, I have a headache. And it's my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law visits our family home alone 2 to 3 times a month to see Jimmy. My father-in-law rarely comes because he doesn't want to be a bother. There's no issue with that, but from her house to our place it takes about 5 hours by plane and car, so it's a bit difficult for a day trip. So naturally when she comes, she stays over. But instead of staying at the family home, my mother-in-law insists on staying at the hotel. According to her, the family home would require cooking and preparations, which must be tiring, right? A hotel that's already prepared is surely more convenient, right? So it's easier for me too. When she stays at the hotel, it reduces the number of rooms we can offer to the other guests, impacting our revenue. Also, we can't just put her in a cheap room, so we have to provide a fairly high-grade room. Our hotel is one of the larger ones locally, with the top-grade rooms starting from $500 per night. While we can have her stay in such a room, we still have to prepare a mid-grade room or above. We also have to prepare meals, so the actual cost comes to about $300, but we can't charge her. There's another issue too. She claims to be acting as a monitor, checking the hotel with an objective eye. I'd like to tell her to stop meddling, but she is Jimmy's mother after all, so we can't ignore her. She files complaints under the name of pointing out issues about the hotel's welcome, front desk customer service, the pool, and in-house facilities, among others. Well, to put it simply, she's a complainer. Our employees remember her face and ask me, "And when is she coming next?" She claims to be a monitor, but she doesn't prepare any documentation or anything, and just calls me over when she's leaving and rambles on with her complaints. From her perspective, she's probably thinking she's giving advice to improve the quality of the hotel. Well, all of it feels like a mother-in-law's nagging to me. The manager, my mom, also says, "She doesn't mean any harm. Just listen to what's necessary and let the rest slide." My dad, the president, also thinks lightly of it and says, "If she likes our hotel, then isn't that a good thing?" I never thought I would have to deal with a mother-in-law even when living in my family home. I've talked to Jimmy about this issue a few times, but he just says carefree things like, "I can't tell her not to come, and she thinks she's doing it for her own good, isn't that fine?" Then one day I received a call on my cell phone. It's from my mother-in-law. I have a bad feeling about this, but I can't ignore it. "Hello, this is Anne."
"Oh, Anne, this is Jimmy's mother. It's been a while."
"Long time no see. Can I help you today?"
"Since it's been a while, could you at least say, 'How are you?' or 'Has anything changed?'"
"I'm sorry."
"Well, never mind. I have a small favor to ask."
"Yes, what is it?"
"I have some friends from my hometown who want to go to a pool. We were wondering where would be a good place, and I remembered Jimmy's place has a nice pool and delicious food, so I suggested it to everyone."
"Thank you so much." I couldn't help but think that was unnecessary. This season is our peak season, so we're pretty busy. I don't have time to attend to my mother-in-law.
So they all agreed. They will be coming during the holiday next month. Could you please reserve some rooms for us?
Next month? It might be a bit difficult, but how many people will it be?
Including me, 6. All women, of course.
Then would it be okay if we provide a standard room?
No way.
My mother-in-law strongly disapproved.
These are important friends of mine. Prepare the top grade room for all of us, that's what I ask.
Our top grade rooms are limited and mostly are already booked.
No way. I can help by sharing a room. Add more beds to each room, then we can all stay in the luxury room.
That's impossible. We can't put extra beds in.
No way, they are my important friends. You have to give them the best hospitality. I'm the one inviting them. It would be embarrassing for me if the service is bad, understand?
My mother-in-law's invitation. Does that mean she wants it for free? That's impossible.
Well, we've decided on the room. Next is the food. Prepare the best. You got that? Well then, take care. Oh, and tell my son to pick us up at the airport.
The call ended and I let out a sigh. What on earth is she thinking? Reluctantly, I started making arrangements as told. My mother-in-law's group trip to this hotel. The fact that she implied everything should be on the house, I consulted my husband, who's the deputy manager, about this difficult situation. My husband said, "That's too much. My mother has never worked, so she probably doesn't know how hard it is to earn money. I'll consult with my dad about this, so leave it to me." Despite my anxiety, I decided to trust my husband's words that he would think of something. On that day, my husband went to pick up my mother-in-law's group at the airport as promised. Soon after the car came back, I greeted my mother-in-law as she got out of the car. "Mother-in-law, welcome." "Oh, Anne, we are in your care. These are my friends from the neighborhood association in my hometown. Take care of us." It's a classy group of elderly ladies, and I led them to the prepared room. It's the top grade room of this hotel. There are 2 bedrooms, living rooms, and an outdoor pool. However, as soon as they entered the room, the complaints started. "There's no welcome drinks for us? The service is poor." "I'm sorry, I'll get it right away." "And I wish you'd prepare better snacks with drinks." "Yes, I'm sorry, I'll bring another snack." While others were trying to calm her down, my mother-in-law's criticism didn't stop. I reluctantly gave instructions to the staff in charge to meet my mother-in-law's requests. The group then headed for the pool. Even there, I was called out and told that the wash basin in the dressing room was dirty. Just from my impression, it seemed like my mother-in-law was trying to show off in front of her friends and acting tougher than usual. Then came dinner. As instructed, I had the fancy dishes prepared using high-quality ingredients and took on the role of serving. The food was generally well received. However, my mother-in-law didn't miss an opportunity to complain about things such as, "This soup is lukewarm, this tasted too plain, and the next dish comes out too quickly." Moreover, she started to say things like, "Are you reducing the portions because we're old?" and demanded more food. My mother-in-law further stirred things up by saying, "Since this is Anne's family's place, she'll pay for everything, so don't hesitate to order." Consequently, they ordered luxury items. And there were also top-shelf wine add-ons. To be honest, the amount became quite considerable. Everyone, being unexpectedly hearty eaters for their age, almost finished their dinner without leaving anything behind. Afterward, they requested a private reservation for the pool as they wanted to take a relaxing time later. When I said that was impossible, I was met with the retort, "How can you not accommodate a guest request as the staff?" I consulted with the manager, my mom, who suggested that they could make the pool private in the morning. When I conveyed this to them, they reluctantly agreed. Then came the massage requests, along with orders for late-night snacks and nightcap cocktails. They were an energetic bunch of grannies indeed. For the bed arrangements, I had to adhere to the requests and move the extra beds into their rooms. I managed to arrange beds as moving the large ones was not feasible, but even this led to complaints. They were angry, saying, "How are we supposed to sleep in these beds?" When I was hopelessly flustered, one of the other ladies said that the bed was fine and the situation was somehow managed. Finally, the tumultuous day ended and I was finally free. I thanked the attendant for her hard work and gave her a special allowance for the extra effort she had to put in. I returned home completely exhausted. I had to prepare for the next day, and by the time I got into bed, it was already the next day. The following day, the group enjoyed a morning swim in the privately reserved pool. It was originally the cleaning time, but I had to inconvenience the staff to change the schedule. Honestly, one person's selfishness can cause trouble for many people. Meanwhile, Jimmy said he would pick up someone and left for the airport in his car. The breakfast ended without any particular complaints, except for comments like, "The tea is lukewarm," and "The soup is too salty." After serving breakfast, I returned to the front desk to prepare for the checkouts. Then I found out that the total amount for my mother-in-law's group exceeded $5,000. Shortly after, the group showed up. I stopped my mother-in-law, who was about to leave after returning the key to the front desk, and asked her to settle the bill. "May I have your payment, please? The total comes at $5,000. Will you be paying in cash or by card?" My mother-in-law exclaimed, "What? You're trying to take money from your husband's mother? Are you joking? You're going to take money from your family. How greedy are you? This is a business as well, and we've provided services worthy of the price. Moreover, if you do not pay this amount, it would be a problem. My mother-in-law's face turned red and she retorted, "This is hospitality for your husband's mother. You shouldn't be taking money. When you come to my house, do I ask for money? Isn't this the same?" What a ridiculous excuse. No, that's not the same. We understood this is a group trip utilizing our hotel. It's different from family relations and it's business. So I'd kindly request that you make the payment properly. Well, I'm shocked. You have no manners for a daughter-in-law. Isn't it disrespectful to my friends? At that moment, someone intervened in the argument between me and my mother-in-law. What's the commotion about? I'm sorry for causing any inconvenience. I apologize. And when I looked at his face, wow, father-in-law. Hey there, long time no see. Jimmy asked me to come on the first morning flight. I'm famished. I'd be grateful if I could have some breakfast here. To my surprise, my father-in-law had shown up. Hello, father-in-law. It's been a while. I'll arrange breakfast for you right away. Well, first things first, I've got to take care of my business. That's why I came here, after all. He came here in response to my husband Jimmy's SOS. He then turned to my mother-in-law. You! Why are you here? I just came to check on my son and his wife. Is that a problem? No, it's not, but there's something I'd like to ask. What might that be? I've noticed you two have been arguing. Is there something going on? No, it's nothing. Isn't that right, Anne? Seizing this opportunity, I decided to be honest with my father-in-law and explain everything. Actually, your wife started using our services yesterday. However, she insisted on having the bill waived, which is quite unreasonable, and I have been trying to explain that to her. I see. How much are we talking about here? Well, we prepared our most luxurious rooms on your wife's instructions. There were also various additional orders and the use of our massage services, so the total came to about $5,000. I see, so she wanted it for free. Yes, that's correct. Having listened to the situation, my father-in-law challenged my mother-in-law. Is what Anne is saying true? Yes. My mother-in-law is lost for words. I heard from my son that whenever you come here, you never pay. Is that true? Well, about that. I was acting as a quality monitor and giving various advice, and in return for that, I had it for free. At this point, my father-in-law's expression changed. Why don't you stop this nonsense? I already know everything. Yes. My mother-in-law's face hardened and turned pale. I heard that every time you come to visit my son, you use this hotel for free, and you're causing a lot of trouble. Is that correct? I'm sorry. I might have gotten a little carried away. Do you know that whenever you don't pay the bill, my son ends up covering it for you? What? My son told me about it. He's been having trouble because you always use the hotel for free. I'm sorry. And this trip, he consulted with me because he was worried that you would use it for free again. I couldn't leave it alone and came here, just as I thought you'd been causing trouble for Anne and her parents. Yes, I apologize. I've been concerned about your spending habits for a while now, and your attitude towards Anne is also unforgivable, so I've decided. What do you mean by that? If you're so eager to see your son, why not work here as a staff for a while? Until you've paid off your past bills. But I can't just suddenly. No, you don't understand how hard it is to earn money through work. How much service have you received from this hotel? And you say the payment should be free. The difficulty of work, the value of money earned through it, those who don't understand that should try it for themselves. With that, my father-in-law asked the manager to allow my mother-in-law to work at the hotel. I'm sorry for the trouble she's caused. Could you please train her for a while? And could you use her salary to repay the debt? Jimmy, please make sure to put your mom to work. Jimmy smiled and then apologized to me. I should have been more firm with her from the start. I'm sorry for the trouble I've caused your family. No, it's okay, but what's going to happen with your mother? Well, I suppose we'll have her start with room cleaning and such. She's probably not up to customer service, so she'll be a trainee for a while. And so, my mother-in-law began working as a cleaning staff the next day. The necessities for her stay were sent from their home by my father-in-law. At first, she struggled with the unfamiliar physical labor and suffered from muscle pain. I bet she never thought she would have to clean the hotel she evaluated as a monitor. Eventually, she became capable of dealing with customers and even had to deal with issues she had pointed out herself. As she progressed through various tasks, she began to realize how selfish she had been. My mother-in-law quieted down completely, and the bullying stopped. It was a bit of a drastic measure, but it seems to have worked well. My father-in-law's plan was a complete success. My job is hard, but when I see the smiles on the faces of our customers, all the fatigue vanishes and I feel joy. From here on out, I want to continue doing my best to receive smiles and words of thanks from our